encompasses the natural innate behavior of things and duty, law, ethics, and virtues. And every entity in the cosmos has its particular dharma. So from the electron, which has dharma to move in a certain manner, and to clouds, galaxies, plants, insect, and the course the man's understanding of the dharma inanimate things, what we now call it physics. So dharma is a universal concept encompassing duties, rightness, and the natural order of things. So that is the main difference between dharma and religion. Then what is the necessity of dharma? Why do we need dharma? So dharma is necessary for individual conduct. So dharma, it is necessary for individual conduct, and dharma provides moral guidance. It provides moral guidance and helps individual distinguish between right and wrong, and leading inner peace and self-discipline. And also dharma necessary for social order. Dharma creates the foundation, law and justice. In ancient legal system were based on Dharma Shastra, which upheld fairness and rightness. And Dharma necessary for spiritual growth. It is also necessary for spiritual growth, which helps one move toward truth, non-violence, and liberation. And also it necessary for universal harmony. So dharma is necessary for universal harmony, and which teaches living in balance with nature and respecting all forms of life, ensuring peace and sustainability. So dharma, it's very essential for human beings. So dharma, so it's very essential because without dharma, there would be chaos, immorality, and injustice in society. So India is a land of great diversity, and Indian society, apart from being multicultural, multilingual, and multi-ethnic, accommodates many other forms of diversity, and exhibited unity and solidarity since time immemorial. So this solidarity is often attributed to Hindu religion, which is highly tolerant and liberal. So from Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism, too many indigenous faith, our country has always been known for its spiritual richness and tolerance. Then, next, let us discuss about the constitutional provisions regarding freedom of religion. As you know, with fundamental rights, we have six fundamental rights. So, right to equality and right to freedom, right against exploitation, then right to religion, educational and cultural rights, and right to constitutional remedies. So right to religion, it is one of the important fundamental rights guaranteed by the Indian Constitution. So right to religion, the provisions under the Indian Constitution provide under Article 25th to 28 of the Indian Constitution, which provides right to freedom of religion, which guarantees individuals freedom of choose, practice, and propagate their religion. So that is the main provisions which are provided in the part third of the Indian Constitution. That is right Article 25, 26, 27, 28. The first article, that is Article 25, of the Indian Constitution. Article 25 of the Indian Constitution speaks about right to propagate religion, specifically stating in Article 25 Class 1 that the right to freedom of religion entails that all persons are equally entitled to freedom of conscience and the right to freely to profess, practice, and propagate religion. So that is clearly mentioned in the section 25, article 25 of the Indian Constitution. So the actual content of the right extends to freedom of religious autonomy, so religious choice and religious observance and religious teaching and propagation of religion or denomination. So bearers of the right may thus protect their autonomy by claiming the right to state non-identification. So thereby ensuring equal treatment and advancement of religious and dominations. Here question is, what is the extent of right to propagate? Does it include the right to propagate that your religion is faulty and my religion alone is perfect? And can my religion, you will enter into heaven, but if you remain in your religion, you might land up in hell. So the Constitution of India guarantees the various rights associated with freedom of religion, subject to certain restriction on the ground of public order, morality, and health, and also subject to other specific provisions which are provided part 3rd of the Indian Constitution. And the another provision which are provided in respect to freedom of religion, that is Article 25. It talks about freedom of conscience and free profession and practice and propagation of religion. According to Article 25 of the Indian Constitution, it guarantees that every person has an equal right to freedom of conscience and freedom of profess, practice, and propagate religion. And Article 25 contains two important explanations. One is uh, the wearing and carrying of kirpan shall be considered part of Hindu religious profession, and the term Hindus shall be interpreted to include persons practicing the Sikh, Jaina, or Buddhist religion. So this is some explanation provided under Article 25 of the Indian Constitution. And another provision is that is Article 26. Article 26 of the Indian Constitution deals with freedom to manage religious affairs. So as per this article, the Constitution confers rights every religious denomination or any section of the right to establish and maintain institution for religious and charitable purposes, and the right to manage its affairs in matters of religion, and also right to own and acquire immovable and movable property, and also right to administer such a property in accordance with law. So that is the provision provided under Article 25 of the Indian Constitution. And another provision, that is Article 27. So Article 27 provides freedom as to payment of taxes for promotion of any particular religion. So Article 27 also prevents a person from being compelled to pay any taxes, the proceeds of which are expressly designated for the payment of expenses incurred in the promotion or maintenance of any particular religion or religious denomination. And the last one, Article 28. Article 28 of the Indian Constitution, it talks about freedom as to attendance at religious instruction or religious worship in certain educational institutions. As per this, as, as per this provision, which are provided under Article 28 of the Indian Constitution, no religious instruction shall be provided in any educational institution entirely maintained out of state funds. However, this provision shall not apply to an education institution administered by state, but established under any endowment or trust, and also requiring the imparting of religious instruction in such institution. And also it further provides that no person attending any state recognized or state aided educational institution is required to participate in any religious instruction or workshop and may be conducted in such institution or its permission premises unless such person or his or her guardian, if such person is a minor, as given to consent. So this is the provision regarding to freedom of religion which are provided under Article 25, 26, 27 and 28 of the Indian Constitution. Then what are the limitation? What are the limitation or restriction provided to such rights? So the right to freedom of religion is a cornerstone of Indian democracy. However, it is not absolute. So right to freedom of religion, it is not absolute right. It can be subject to reasonable limitations. So fundamental rights which are provided in the part 3 of the Indian Constitution, it is also subject to reasonable restriction. So right to religion, it is also subject to reasonable limitation in the interest of public order, morality and health as well as constitutional values. And further, Article 25 Class 2 allows that state to intervene in economic, financial, political, or other secular activities. So here, one of the theory, it is called the doctrine of essentiality. So the essential religious practices, doctrine governs, religious practices are protected under Article 25 and 26 of the Indian Constitution. While religious practices are protected, only essential religious practices receive constitutional protection. So the jurisprudence of the essentiality of a religion lies with the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court only will decide which is essential and which is not essential. For example, the Sabrimala case. So the prime example of the right to maintain religious affairs versus the right to equality of women. So the another provision which provided in respect to right to freedom of religion, in respect to state interference in a religious matter. So there are still ongoing debates on the extent of states' intervention in religious practices and the potential misuse of religious freedom for discriminatory purposes. And another thing is the balancing rights and public order. So the Supreme Court, the Honorable Supreme Court of India, established the balance between religious sentiments and legal claims awarding the disputed land in Ayodhya for the construction of a Ram temple while providing the alternative land for the mosque. And another topic, that is what are the what are the decisions given by the Honorable Supreme Court in respect to right to freedom of religion. So most of the cases related to religious freedom and practices are related to doctrine of essentiality. The first case regarding to right to religion, that is the Commissioner Hindu Religious Endowments Madras versus Sri Lakshmindra Tirtha Swamiya of Sri Srirur Mutt case. So it is a famous as the Srirur Mutt case 1954. So the Honorable Supreme Court defined the word religion. So religion would include those rituals that are integral to a particular religion. And Article 25, Class 2 of the Indian Constitution provides the power to the state to make laws concerning the regulation of economic, political, and other activities relating to the religion. So the responsibility of determining integral religious practices was left with the court. So the court rejected the suggestion that only essential practices of religion be given constitutional protection. So the doctrine of the doctrine of essentiality first established in Srirur Mutt case. And another case, that is Muhammad Anif Qureshi versus the state of Bihar. In this case also, the Honorable Supreme Court of India ruled that the cow sacrifice on Bakrid was not an essential part of Islam and thus could be prohibited by the under class 2A of the Article 25 of the Indian Constitution. And another case, that is Dargah Committee Ajmer versus Syed Hussain Ali. That is another important case. The court held that the religious practice that are essential to religion are protected, not all practices. So this is the decision given by the court in Dargah Committee Ajmer versus Syed Hussain Ali. And another case, that is Reverend Stanless versus state of Madhya Pradesh. In this case also, the Honorable Supreme Court of India held that Article 25 does not grant any right to convert another person to one's own religion, but it permits to transmit or spreads one's own religion by an exposition of tenets. So the court upheld the validity of the regional tool anti-conversional laws. However, this limited rights has been misused by the many religious groups to brainwash the innocent poor people into convert them, which may protest and create some law and order problems. So many states passed anti-conversion laws and imposed some restriction. So this is one of the important case. The Honorable Supreme Court of India provides the reasonable important limitation regarding the conversion of a person. So Article 25 does not grant any right to convert another person to one's own religion, but permits to transmit or spread one's own religion by an exposition of tenets. And another case, that is Acharya Jagadishwarananda Avaduta versus Commissioner of Police. So in this case, the court ruled that the Tandava dance in a procession or public places by Ananda Margis carrying lethal weapons and human skulls in not an essential religious right of Ananda Marg followers. And thus, the order prohibiting such a procession in the interest of public order and morality is not violation of Article 25 and 26 of the Indian Constitution. And another case that is Bijoy Emmanuel versus State of Kerala. It is also known as National Anthem case. So in this case, centered on expulsion of three students who abstained from singing the national anthem in a government school in Kerala due to religious beliefs. The Honorable Supreme Court asserted that the students' right to freedom of conscience and religion extended both holding and expressing their belief. And it ruled that their expulsion violated the fundamental rights under Article 19 Class 1A and Article 25 of the Indian Constitution, emphasizing the significance of the religious freedom as a constitutional tenet. So the judgment trusted the duty of public authorities like schools to safeguard these rights and affirming the forcing the students to sing national anthem despite the religious objection violated the constitutional freedoms. So this is another important case which is decided by the Honorable Supreme Court. And another case that is Dr. M. Ismail Faruqi versus Union of India. Dr. M. Ismail Faruqi versus Union of India. So in this case also, the Honorable Supreme Court of India ruled that under Article 26 of the Indian Constitution, mosque, temple, and churches are immovable properties that are not required for religious practice. The state may acquire immovable properties. So this is also decided by the Honorable Supreme Court. And another case that is Sayara Banu versus Union of India. So Sayara Banu versus Union of India, in this case also, it ruled that the practice of triple talaq was unconstitutional and illegal. So the court also stated that the personal law must pass the constitutional validity and also gender justice test. So this is the observation made by the Honorable Supreme Court of India in Sayara Banu versus Union of India. And the another case that is Sabrimala case. So Sabrimala temple case, that is also one of the important case. So the entry of women aged from 10 to 50 was restricted into the Sabrimala temple in Kerala. So citing the tradition and custom. So the Honorable Supreme Court of India held that the practice unconstitutional and upheld the right of women to equality to access to places of worship. So this is the observation made by the Honorable Supreme Court of India in various cases in respect to freedom of religion, which are provided under Article 25, 26, 27, and 28 of the Indian Constitution. And what are the international provisions regarding to freedom of religion? So in respect to international provisions for the freedom of religion, Article 18, Article 18 of the United Nations International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which is strongest international and legal binding document on the freedom of religion or belief. So even the Universal Declaration of Human Rights 1948 and European Convention on Human Rights and Article 10 of the Charter of Fundamental Rights of European Union provides the provision regarding to freedom of religion in international level. As for the provision provided under Article 18 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, it clearly says that everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. And this article is known as the internal freedom of religion or belief. And it is absolute. But under Indian constitution, right to freedom of religion, it is not absolute. But under Article 18 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, it says that the internal freedom of religion or belief, and it is absolute. Thus, no derogation or restriction on the internal dimension is permitted under any circumstances. So, freedom of thought, conscience, and religion include theistic and non-theistic and atheistic and beliefs, as well as the right not to profess any religion or belief. And also, it further provides that Article 18 of the ICCPR further provides that everyone has the right to manifest his or a religion or belief in worship. So, and also this provision, this article also consider as the external freedom of religion or belief. So external acts of freedom of religion or belief can signify the broad range of act and including the right for individual to act collectively with their other individuals within the religious group. So the external aspect of freedom of religion or belief is not absolute, as is case with the internal aspect. So this is provided under Article 18 of the ICCPR, and also provides no one shall be subject to coercion, which would impair his or freedom of religion or belief, and an individual must not be subject to coercion, which would limit their freedom to have, renounce, change, or adopt a religion or belief of own choice. So, no one shall be subject to discrimination regardless of his or a religion or belief, and this includes all forms of discrimination at school, employment, social benefits, and so on. So this is some provisions which are provided in international level in respect to freedom of religion. And I'm moving to conclusion part. So dharma or religion, it's played a vital role in our lives. It is not only a belief in God, but also a guide for living a good and meaningful life. Dharma teaches us values like honesty, kindness, love, respect for others. Basaveshwara or Basavana said in his Vachana, Daye Dharmada Moolavaya. So the sources of dharma is kindness, So article Dharma gives us peace of mind during difficult times and strength to face challenges. So Article 25 to 28 of the Indian Constitution protect every individual's freedom of faith, the essence of this right, mutual respect and harmony. So the essence of the freedom of religion, which are provided under Article 25, 26, 27, 28 of the Indian Constitution, that is mutual, to create the mutual respect and harmony among the people. Our father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, once said, religion is a matter of the heart. It must never be used to divide humanity. And the state must remain neutral and protect all faiths equally. That is one of the important concepts. And education institution should promote constitutional values and interfaith understanding. As Dr. B.R. Ambedkar rightly said, the Constitution is not a mere lawyer's document. It is a vehicle of life. And its spirit, it always the spirit of each. So this is the observation made by the Dr. Ambedkar regarding to right to religion. And India is a land of many religions, languages, traditions, and faith. Yet one nation bound by the freedom, the tolerance, and respect for all religions. As responsible citizens and future lawyers, it is our duty to uphold secular values and respect all faiths and ensure that the spirit of freedom of religion continues to illuminate our democratic path. So, with this, I conclude my presentation, and thanks to the organizers of this uh, and especially I thanks to Professor Dr. Basavaraj Kubakadi sir and Dr. Jayant Barwa sir for giving this opportunity, and also thank you one and all. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Participants are encouraged to put any questions if they want. In the meantime, I'd like to ask once again, Manish, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So the connection is back in the department?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Okay, fine. So,
So, because of some other religion, how much can we tolerate? Is this good or bad?
Sorry, sir.
In this country,
Yes,
they have
sir.
so many religion. You said because of
Yes.
other religion, how much we can tolerate them? Is it good or bad?
See, Article 25 clearly speaks about right to propagate religion, specifically Article 25 class 1. It clearly says that right to freedom of religion entails that all persons are equally entitled to freedom of conscience and right to freely profess, practice, and propagate religion. So it is clearly mentioned under Article 25, Class 1 of the Indian Constitution. So your question is, what is the extent of right to propagate? So does it
I think sir has lost his connection. Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
There is the feedback form in the chat box, so you can, in the meantime, you can fill it up.
Sir, am I audible? Sorry, my connection, my laptop, some technical issues here.
You're audible, but sir, please switch off one device.
Okay, sir.
Now it is perfect, sir.
Okay, sir. I'm audible, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So Article 25, Class 1 and Class 2 provides the provision regarding to freedom of conscience and free profess and practice and propagation of religion. So here, as per provision contained in Article 25, 26, and 27 and 28. So some provision as per the Constitution guarantees that every person has equal right to freedom of conscience and the freedom to profess, practice, and propagate religion. So India is a land of many religion and many tradition. So the provision which are provided under Article 25, 26, 27, 28, so which protects all the religion equally. So in various judgment, uh, in Muhammad Anif Qureshi versus State of Bihar, the Honorable Supreme Court of India clearly ruled that cow sacrifice on Bakrid was not an essential part of Islam and thus could be prohibited by state under 25 Class 2A of the Indian Constitution. So even Sirur Matter, I mentioned that the theory of essentiality. So that is most important theory established by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. According to Honorable Supreme Court of India, religion would include those rituals that are integral to a particular religion. And Article 25 Class 2 gives the power to state to make laws concerning the regulation of economic, political, and other activities related to religion. So, Constitution protects all religions which are situated in India, so equally protected under Article 25, 26, 27, 28 of the Indian Constitution.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, there is one more question in the chat box.
Yes, sir.
The question is asked from a first year student of Havner College of Law.
Ah, yes, sir.
She says that Article 25(2) regulating or restricting any economic, financial, political, or other secular activity associated with religious practice. However, state boards such as Devaswov boards, the TNHRNC, are collecting money to have a quick access to darshan. Is this the violation of Article 25?
No, sir, it is not a violation of Article 25. So, Article 25, what it says that the right to propagate religion, specifically stating in Article 25, Class 1, that is right to freedom of religion, which entails that all persons are equally entitled to freedom of conscience and right to freely profess, practice, propagate religion. So that is the main important provision provided under Article 25 Class 1. And the actual content of the right extend the freedom of religious autonomy. So religious choice, religious observance, and religious teaching and propagation of religion denomination. So the bearers of the right may thus protect their autonomy by claiming the right to state non-identification, thereby ensuring equal treatment. So equal treatment and advancement of religious and denomination is an essential part of Article 25. But what do you that state boards such as Devas boards and TNHRNC are collecting money to have a quick access to darshan in this. So it is depending upon the religious practice. So it is not violating Article 25 of the Indian Constitution.
Okay, sir. So we are almost ahead of time. So I request any further queries, you can forward it to me. I will definitely forward it to sir, and he will definitely reply to your
Yes,
queries.
please. Yes,
I
please.
request
Yes, yes.
I request Mani Swati, and before that, I would also like to express sincere apology for all the technical glitches. Unexpectedly, it happened today, so PPT could not be presented by, but I ensure that in the resources section of the website, you will find all the PPTs and the video links also after a
Yes,
couple
sir. I
of days.
already shared the PPTs.
Yes, sir. So all the participants can access it there. So I request Manish Bharti to please kindly extend the formal vote of thanks and to conclude the session. And it is a wonderful session, sir, and we are highly privileged to have you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks to Jayan sir and Basuraj Kupakadi sir for this opportunity, sir. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, Dr. Naveen Chandra, sir, for such an insightful presentation on the behalf of Department of Law, Central University of Karnataka, and all the participants. I extended our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Naveen Chandra, sir. Your presentation not only highlight the right of the religion under the Constitution of India, but also provided valuable insight into the Dharma and the Mahabharata and valuable article and limitation and essentials of the religion. Sabrimala, Ayodhya cases, Matha cases, and international aspects of religion and many. I also extend my heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor but to Satnana sir, our host Vasparaj Kubakati sir, and Jan sir, and also participants for their support and active involvement. You, Parjanes and Ethnic, have made the fourth lecture of mission Nyayadrishti Samvad a remarkable and memorable beginning. I request to all participants please fill the feedback form if given in the chat box. With the we conclude this session. Thank you once again, Dr. Naveen sir. Dr. Naveen sir, we really look forward to continue engagement with the Department of Law, Central University of Karnataka. Thank you again, one. Thank you.